rest more, stress less, and live the life you actually want. Her best advice in this wonderful book was to just simply, for me, the best advice was just, don't make excuses anymore. Anytime you're feeling burnt out, stressed, like take that 5 minutes. Give yourself 5 minute break. Just sit down, lay down, just relax, don't move, just rest. Right? It doesn't have to be rocket science. It doesn't have to be like the ultimate self-care. Just rest. And this scared me into submission because she got MS because she was so overworked all the time, so burnt out. And she never gave herself, there was always something, like she never gave herself permission to rest. Because there was always something else to do. And she just kept going and going and going and didn't stop. And she got horribly ill because of it. So this changed my life. So I highly recommend it if you need to be more gentle with yourself. So any self-help books that you recommend me to read, I really would appreciate it. I'll be so thankful for you to help me with that, okay? Because I really am, I have one book to go left and then I have nothing Like, I want my friend to be buttering my biscuit. I don't want my therapist to be buttering my biscuit. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, by buttering biscuit, I mean, like, being, like, overly nice and, like, accommodating. Like, no, I want you to be rough with me if you're gonna be my therapist. Like, I want you to tell it like it is, right? Soothe, restoring your nervous system from stress, anxiety, burnout, and trauma by Nahid Beljon. So it's a colorful book. I mean, like, a colorful, pretty color. Front cover, you know what I'm saying. This is actually a really uncomfortable place to sit. Like, my back is literally so not good right now. They go into different exercises you can do. I think different breath work as well, if I'm not mistaken. It's a very, very long read, though. But she comes from, I think, a counseling background as well, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, she does talk about breath, mindfulness, I really like getting to know the body and what works, and even a little bit about diet, I think, to get you to release stress, anxiety, and, like, really, it is great for you. You don't realize how much, like, your body's issues are caused by your nervous system. A lot of it starts from, a lot of times, your digestion, and then it goes into your nerves if you're not careful. So, yeah. Intentionality by Finian Kelly. This was a very long read too. A groundbreaking guide to breath, consciousness, and radical self-transformation. His story really touched me. He's been through a lot, haven't we all? But, he's had loss in his life, and just a father that just treated him very horribly. So it touched me in a deep, profound way, as someone who has maybe not had the best relationship with his father growing up. So I love the cover because it's nice texture, but I also like the colors as well. But yeah, this goes deep. This goes into a lot about different methods that, honestly, he has an approach that's very different from other people I've read. So he goes in depth. So if you're ready for that, okay. So I don't think maybe there's a few more I can go into. Like self-care for empaths, by Tanya Carol Richardson. So yeah, this is more helpful for somebody who's like deeply emotional, compassionate, empathic, like picks up on everybody's energies. Sorry, I keep adjusting the camera. I want to center myself, but I keep slouching because this is so not the comfortable sitting position for me. But I still want to be in the center of the frame. So, it goes into setting boundaries, healthy activities, and, again, you can tell I got a lot of books on self-care recently because the last few years have tested me and my health. So, I definitely needed books to help me, get through. So, I guess I can do this one. Was more recent, I suppose. The Mastery of Self by Don Miguel Ruiz Jr., his son. So, yeah, it says he who masters others is wise. He who masters himself is enlightened, by Lao Tzu, by the Tao Te Ching, which is also, Tao Te Ching is a book I've recently read as well. So he talks about the dream of the planet, like the collective planet, and like, I think sometimes maybe dives into Self-Transformation, Your Journey to Happiness, mapped out by Sahara Huneedi Palmer. So I'm always reading about the tarot cards. I have to, and it's just something that's, that's half my work is tarot reading. So it's a half of my work life, so it just goes in depth about the cards. And I would say maybe not so much about happiness. It just helps you really study the cards more and their meanings, their numerology, and stuff like that. So that's, any tarot book is obviously going to be very helpful for what I'm doing. There's Spiritual Anatomy by Daji, Meditation, Chakras, and the Journey to the Center. Daji Kamlesh D. Patel. So, he talks about the different chakras in more depth than I've ever learned before, to be honest. He talks about different subjects like shame and guilt and different meditation practices you can do for centering, grounding, stuff like that. So it's a really good read if you are a spiritual person and need help in that department of your life as well. I'm not gonna, go into all the series, but I've read also in the last year the whole 13 books of a series of unfortunate events. These were my side reads, my side quests. So, I've also read the Book of Tarot by Sahara Huneedi Palmer. So it's a long, very long read. It goes into depth, as you can see, about all the cards. So, I constantly have to learn and study the cards. So this helps me to continue doing so. Oh, my coffee is getting cold. So, this one as well. I almost forgot, and I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. I think that's all of them on this side of the shelf. I'll move on to the next side of the shelf now, but Guided, The Secret Path to an Illuminated Life by Laura Lynn Jackson. So this talks about grief, losing, like how to get over losing loved ones. It's a very, very long read. But it shows you like the spirit world is very real. There's signs after this life, and showing you how spirit connects with you and how that can bring you joy instead of just focusing on grief after loss. This is very helpful, and it will help you heal if you are struggling with losing somebody you love deeply. Okay? Alright, so that's it for those. I'm going to move on to the other side of the shelf now. I almost forgot, I also read Alien Encounters, Extraordinary Tales of Strange Phenomena by Rupert Matthews. So this goes in depth about different abductions, different case studies, different things that have happened in the history of ufology. So I'm definitely a believer, and I know they're very real, to me at least. They're real, allegedly, entertainment purposes only, but it talks about the recent disclosures and all that stuff, so very interesting stuff, and all in one book, on the whole history since the 30s, I believe, since they started appearing more, and talks about like crop circles and stuff like that. So very, very good read there, very in depth. So here's some more. Okay, so that was that half of the bookshelf of just not all the books, but like what I've read in the last year-ish. The Little Book of Rest, by Stephanie Thomas. Redefine rest for your mental, physical, and emotional healing. So yeah, these are just 100 different things you can do, like do a noting meditation, have that hard conversation, reduce your caffeine intake, invest in a comfortable pillow, just different things you can do to really rest your body. It's kind of like, a book to read, kind of flip through once in a while, be like, okay, I'll try that, like just different advice on what you can do secret to making all your dreams come true based on natural laws that govern all of creation. Shatters the myth that success is the result of hard work, driving ambition, or exacting plans. There's 7 principles to create success in all areas of your life. So, yeah, it's actually, this was originally published in 94. So, now it still has a lot of truth to it, even over 30 years later. So, another good book for spiritual, like-minded people. And very helpful life advice to follow. Like, sometimes you just have to follow principles to live a good, peaceful existence. So here's Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. So, you know, most half of them are like illustrations and stuff, but there's like, I think 80 different, I don't want to say scriptures, 81 different things. Like, here's the 81st one, the last one. True words do not sound beautiful. Beautiful sounding words are not true. Wise men don't need to debate. Men who need to debate are not wise. You get it, right? It's just old, ancient principles that you can really incorporate into your life and grow wise and mature because of. So, mantras to live by, basically. Njuta by Nikki Randmark. The Swedish Art of Savoring the Moment. I think this was probably over a year ago, but it's similar to the Scandinavian Guide to Happiness. Stop People Pleasing by Haley McGee. How can I tell when my genuine kindness veers into people pleasing? When is it appropriate to compromise on my needs and when is it not? How can I set boundaries while maintaining my empathy and generosity? So, very long read. It really batters it into your brain about boundaries, for sure. Russ, It Was You All Along, and this is a mirror showing you, well, the camera, but you, nonetheless. It's all marked, I apologize. It's new, but like, I don't know why it had like some scratches or marks on it. You gotta kind of wipe it. There we go. But Russ is very simple reads, for me at least, every time as an avid reader, but it's, you know, the traditional color schemes here, but also just gets right to the point. Like, you're the one who's responsible for your own path, you know? And, you know, he's obviously been very successful. He shows like money's not everything. He's had millions and became miserable because of it and needed a new way out, you know? Money, yeah, it's not the answer. It's never the solution to all your problems. It's never going to be. So I'm glad he mentioned that part, because a lot of these celebrities don't want to admit it. Like, they really do live miserable lives and they have everything, you know? And it shows you that you have everything you need here, you know? It's not what's on paper. It's not how much you have. Yeah, it looks impressive, but nobody cares at the end of the day. In fact, you might even have a lot of jealous people. So it serves you no purpose, but more things. And you don't need more things, you know? So if you have everything you need here. So, what else? The Hidden Power of the 5 Hearts. Empower your thoughts, balance your emotions, and unlock vibrant health and abundance by Kimberly Snyder. Does your mind need a rest? Are you tired of feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and stuck in a cycle of low energy, anxiety, and fear? It says the root might be the repetitive thoughts you think on a day-to-day basis. So it says overthinking often leads to excess worry, anxiety, sense of not being enough, but there's powerful, often overlooked solution to the challenges, the hidden power within your heart. So this really helped me open my heart chakra. Honestly, it really propelled me forward on my healing journey, reading this book. Because a lot of times we forget about love. We forget about what's inside your soul, you know, and I think that's so important to activate and open more. How to Thrive in Hard Times, a Buddhist Manual by Stephen Folder. So very, very long read, but it goes deep. It goes deep. It honestly, like, some things I really needed to hear here. Some things I'm like, oh, I needed to work on. So it's like, you're gonna realize a lot about yourself through this. And I feel like Buddhist principles always resonated with me more than any religion. It's just peaceful and it's so simple, you know. And he talks a lot about what's happening today as well. Stuff, you know, going on in the Middle East and stuff like that. So there's a lot of truth in that book that we need that reality check, you know what I'm saying? So this was powerful for me as well. On a recent read, Lisa Oliveira wrote Already Enough, A Path to Self-Acceptance. After reading this book, I finally felt like I was enough. And I didn't before this. And I'm telling you, you know, no matter what I did, I always felt like nothing was enough. It was just not. So, you know, this gets to the root of that issue, basically. I think I read The Voice of Knowledge. This is Don Miguel Ruiz recently. He has so many I've read, but this was one recently. Again, very similar to what I mentioned. Don Miguel Ruiz and his son write very similar works, and they're so beautiful and so spiritual, and he has a special place in my heart always as an author. He's always going to be one of my favorite authors because of the way he writes. His style of writing is just so remarkable to me. The Joy of Solitude, How to Reconnect with Yourself in an Overconnected World by Robert J. Copeland. So, yeah, it's emphasizing how important it is that you value your me time and that you shouldn't feel shame, embarrassment, humiliation about it. And it says solitude is part of the human experience. Isn't it strange that we know so little about it? So he gets mostly into the long, tedious stuff about the science behind why solitude is important in the whole book, more so than emphasis on what you can do while you are enjoying solitude. So if I'm honest with you, it might be a little dull for some reading it because it just goes on and on about the science behind why. Not necessarily go get a cup of tea and hide under a blanket while a cozy thunderstorm happens outside. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I think The Magic of Mindful Self-Awareness was a recent read. I mean, all these top shelf ones that are like close to the middle are my recents. How to Stop Overthinking, Clear Your Mind and Be Happy Almost All the Time by Matt Tenney. This was gifted to me, you know. And it was a good starting point for me to read more books about awareness, mindfulness. You know, that was the huge theme for me in my, you know, goal-setting healing journey. Like my intention really was, even for this year's, like, just heal, just continue working on you, just continue learning, growing, evolving, you know, shape-shifting. How to Stop Overthinking with a Simple, Effortless Life Hack. How to form lasting, life-changing habits that positively impact every aspect of your life. There's so much more. It's not even just those things. Let's see here. I'm trying to see here what else I have read recently. Oh, there's so many. The Light We Give by Simranjit Singh. How Sikh wisdom can transform your life. And it's just so beautiful. He's such a beautiful soul inside, you know. He talks about his journey growing up and going through discrimination and, you know, living in Texas where, you know, he faced a lot of discrimination. So for being a Sikh, you know, and so he talks about different things, like September, you know, the 11th, that day that happened, and how that experience shaped his reality as well. And yeah, so it's a good book if you've ever felt like judged, discriminated. I know I have many times in my life, many times, just for being who I am, just for loving who I love, you know. So this was powerful as well. Hard to hear, but powerful. Set Boundaries, Find Peace, A Guide to Reclaiming Yourself by Nedra Glover Tawwab. So, you know, she goes in on just, you know, keeping it real, like, hey, this is what you need to do. Don't make excuses for yourself. Like, if anybody's disrespecting your space, your peace, your privacy, family, friend, whoever, even yourself, right? Like, if you're pooping on yourself, sometimes we are our biggest enemy, right? So how can you to set boundaries to, let me reword that, how you can set boundaries to find just peace overall. Isn't that the goal for everything though? All right. Yeah, I mean, there's so many other works in the last, I've been actively reading every day since like 6 years plus now, 6.5 years ago. So there's just so much. I think this is maybe the last one. The Greatest Mindset, Unlock the Power of Your Mind and Live Your Best Life Today by Lewis Howes. So again, another beautiful soul. So helpful. Just, you know, he's made it, obviously, so he's worked with influential people, so he knows what he's talking about. I like to hear from those kind of people because they tell me like it is, and they tell me what I need for my growth journey and how I can apply their principles and all the mistakes of their past so I don't repeat those mistakes. You know, if you learn from the best, you'll be the best. So yeah, all right guys, so that was, I think, pretty much my last year's reads. Thank you so much for joining me. Maybe you want to more in-depth in the future, I will have to buy more books. That's why I was saying, like, if you can help me, tell me what books that are self-help related specifically, because again, that's my goal this year. I don't want just like entertainment, but entertainment as a side read would be nice. So if you really think I would like something, do let me know. Okay, I love you all dearly, and I will see you very soon. Hope you enjoyed this.